The original owners were Larry Peters and Bill Hoffman, my uncle Fred and my father Frank, and Tony Albino. Those are the original owners of the track. They picked out this particular piece of land because it was really a very good piece. It was like 33 or 35 acres of just flat land. It was all, farm originally. Larry Peters and Bill Hoffman, they were very interested in racing. So they got together themselves and they formed a corporation. They thought this would be an ideal setup, in this area there was very little in that respect. I just graduated from college. I was 22. My father and uncle were in a partnership in a construction business. Benvenuti and Sons built that racetrack, and my brother was the superintendent on the job.
My father worked for them, Fred and Frank Benvenuti, and so as they were building the bowl, we used to go over there and pull in and check things out, that kind of stuff, It was kind of neat.
It took approximately 9 months to build the whole thing, and it opened in 1951.
I remember that the first practice session, they had traffic backed up all the way to the Waterford Airport because they used to be the main road to the Speedbowl before they built I-95.
They didn't even have enough parking to accommodate the crowd that they had there. They were parked up on 85 and every other place.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to racing here at the New London Waterford Speedbowl. In just a few minutes, we'll be underway with this afternoon's racing program, and you'll have plenty of thrills and chills as you watch them bumper to bumper and wheel to wheel as they roar around this third of a mile track here at the New London Waterford Speedbowl.
1951, United ran the races then, which was under the heading of Rex Records and Lou Giuliani and Harvey Tattersall.
Harvey's United circuit in the 50s was the biggest thing in the Northeast. I mean, they had so many tracks they ran with.
Now down in front of you, in front of the camera at this particular time, is the president of the United Stock Car Racing Club, and he's giving the drivers the instructions which will be used in this 100-mile feature race for this afternoon's program. There's strict laws that govern these races, and Mr. Records is explaining them to the drivers.
United ran the races until 1954 when there was a break. They didn't get along with each other. It was they just didn't mesh.
After a while, that marriage didn't work too well.
The United wasn't popular with the drivers because Harvey Tattersall was a hard man to get along with.
If they didn't feel that they were getting a good deal in one place, they'd, go to another place if they got mad at you. They'd, instead of running, well, they're not going to run here anymore, then they'd go to Stafford Springs.
Well, the core issue was basically the drivers all got together and they didn't like the payoff and whatever, so that they developed their own union, so to speak. Eventually that was broken up.
Harvey ran United the same way that France ran NASCAR. If you race for him and nobody else. And if you did race for somebody else and he found out about it, he fined you or suspended you.
There was so much politics going on in the early 50s. I mean, Rex Records established, he was part of United and he broke off and ran the American Auto Racing Club. They tried replacing the modifieds, but because the modifieds had such a bigger purse, it just didn't work. People wanted to see the modifieds. The Speedbowl did not open until around June. It was the only season where they ever ran a half a season. And they didn't have a very good field of cars because everybody went to different places because the track didn't open on time.
You've got to be firm, but then you've got to kind of, you know, be very, very careful on some of the decisions that you have to make. You can't really run a track and not make some hard feelings, you know, and that makes it very, very hard to operate.
They brought him in and he was able to handle the situation much easier than the people in the past.
He was just the right type of person for the job. He was very, very cool and calm. Didn't get rattled under any circumstances, was a real gentleman, and everybody really liked him.
He was a real nice guy. I mean, he never got excited, he never got mad at anybody.
John was a super guy, yep.
I always liked him. He was a good guy, I thought.
Mild-mannered guy, but he kind of knew how to keep everything at bay. In other words, if things got a little excited or he kind of knew how to soothe, you know, keep things going okay.
I worked for him for 13 years, and he was respected by all the drivers. He was a fair man.
John was in the infield, and then at intermission, he'd go up into the payoff stand, which we have, it's still there, and anybody come in with any complaints or anything like that, and he'd get the line up for the feature. And then he'd, you know, there'd always be somebody want to talk to him about something that happened in the heat or something like that. He was the guy that picked up all that for management for us.
He really kind of ran the place for him. He really did. I mean, they stayed in the office and run the business end of it, and John ran the whole racing end of it.
White House paid the insurance for the drivers.
They had insurance with a independent insurance company from Providence that took care of all the track insurance, and then our insurance company took care of the rest of, you know, the stands and everything else.
And he paid the purse, and he kept all the back gate money. The owners would keep all the admissions going in and all the beer money and stuff like that.
He got the back gate. I mean, that was his. I mean, the money that came through there and everything else, he was accountable just to himself and to IRS.
If any of the drivers ever needed any money, he would give them money to keep them going.
If you got wrecked with White House and you go see him, he'd slip you $100 to $200 to get the car back together with. And that was a lot of money back then.
He come to my garage a couple of times. He put on, how you making out? You're going to make it next week? Well, we're working on it. And he'd reach in his pocket and give you a $100 bill or a $200 bill to make you come back.
If you had a hard luck night and you needed money to tow the car home, you could go to John and he'd throw you enough money to get the car home.
Yeah, he was quite the guy. And if we had a bad night, he'd always throw us a little extra in, you know, a little tow money, he'd call it.
He took care of all the drivers. He used to live in that house down in the front during the racing season.
And they let him live. He used to live in that old house right in front of the Speedbowl. I used to go out and see him all the time. John was a nice guy. Him and I always got along good.
My uncle, my father's brother, he wanted out. The only remaining one was Tony Albino. He was the original. And my father, Frank.
I was on a first name basis, as was most of the other drivers. They were down-to-earth people. They weren't, well, we own the track and you're lucky we let you drive here. It wasn't one of those kind of things at all, you know. They were just regular nice people.
Them guys that ran that racetrack, I think they really did a good job for way back then, because it was all new to them too. None of them was affiliated with racing, I didn't think. And they did a good job.